So I tend to look at, okay, where is the next big wave? I try and live a couple of years in the future in almost everything that I do. And for me, the big thing is the applications layer. It is DeFi and the next iteration of that becomes more usable for the average person, and it's unusable for the ordinary person. So that's going to come, and that's going to be huge. I think, as Tasha mentioned social tokens. They're coming. I know they are because I'm working on a bunch of projects based around this, and these things are enormous. The riskier end of the curve, I had thematic strategies. So I had DeFi, I had some metaverse, I had some layer two, some layer ones, but mainly, it's 80% ETH. The riskier end of the curve got killed. Some of the metaverse stocks did pretty well in a bear market for a period of time. It's like, for me, that's fine. And only so therefore, if I think of the risky side of the market, I took a small amount of risk in that. I then topped up with ETH calls because that was I thought we had a decent probability chance of an upside break at the back end of last year. Didn't happen. So lost the money in the calls.
Expired worthless, yeah.
Expired worthless. Well, I haven't expired yet. If ETH gets to about 15,000 by 2 weeks, I'll be in the money. And that's fine for me. So really what I've been doing is looking to allocate more over time slowly, because this is not a market I try and time, because I'm not really interested in that. I'm not a shorter term guy. So I'm looking where to allocate and how to allocate. I'm still struggling to find a better bet than ETH as a risk-adjusted reward over, give it a 12-month time horizon. Yes, others will do better, but you got the changes to ETH coming. That's all coming by the summer. I think also we're going to get the Bitcoin ETF, the spot one out. From what I'm hearing through back channels, that there's at least 2, maybe 3 that are going to get approved, and that's April. So now that doesn't mean that people rush into that because Bitcoin's going down. So why would they? But at the margin, these are positive news flows.
So you thinking, or your back sources, let's not call them back sources, but you're thinking that there may be a Bitcoin ETF as soon as April, a physical Bitcoin ETF.
Yeah, April, May. But April there's at least 2 in April with Bitwise and another one. We're getting very close. And, Gensler's statement this week or last week, whenever it was, I've lost track, was very positive for this kind of stuff, which is, we get it, it's here, it's not going away. We'll regulate it carefully. It's just all the right steps.
If we get a Bitcoin ETF in April, that could be the catalyst that Jordi was talking about.
But why, Ran? If you launch a product in a down market, why is that suddenly going to be, oh my God, let's rush in, right? Humans are, behavioral creatures, and so it just facilitates a bull market, but I doubt it turns around a bear market, because it makes no difference, because retail already own the stuff. And institutions, they tend to prefer, we might get more allocation, a bit more allocation, but they tend to prefer to see the price turn around. Also, The other one that interests me is look, DeFi's not going away. Most of DeFi's down 75% or so. I don't know whether what's in existence now in DeFi has a killer application, but, my guess is if you're looking to allocate further out the risk curve, a DeFi basket at some point down this much gets kind of interesting to me, because DeFi's not going away, and it's going to be a much larger part of the world as we know it in the future. I personally can't choose what's going to win out of this, so I tend to do these things as just buying an equally weighted basket of stuff and see what happens.
The best innovation that you guys have seen, or innovation that you're looking at, if you were to cite 1 or 2 projects where you think, you're not saying to the public buy them, but you're saying that's real innovation. What tickled you guys in terms of innovation?
I'm such a macro guy. It's not my skill set to do what Jordi does. I just don't have the bandwidth for it. So I tend to look at, okay, where is the next big wave? I try and live a couple of years in the future in almost everything that I do. And for me, the big thing is the applications layer. It is DeFi and the next iteration of that becomes more usable for the average person, and it's unusable for the ordinary person. So that's going to come, and that's going to be huge. I think as Tasha mentioned social tokens. They're coming. I know they are because I'm working on a bunch of projects based around this, and these things are enormous. But people just don't know it yet because they haven't seen it. So all of that's coming. The applications layer around NFTs has only just started. It's very frothy right now, pulls back. So I'm actually focused on that. As I said, I'm building 2 businesses. One is actually tokenizing the world's largest communities, particularly cultural communities, music, sports, and fashion. And the other business is a fund of funds to give access, which is what we need to do. We need to give institutions access because they haven't got it.